Hi everyone, it's Genesis, and today you're going to be watching a vlog that I filmed on a digital camera. So the quality is okay, the audio is a little loud, but I'll make sure to turn it down. But just as a warning, it is a little loud and spikes sometimes. But I had some clips before of me picking out some fabric and some zippers to make some little pouches. I decided to cut that out of this video because I just wanted this to focus purely on the testing of my candles. So if I talk about anything that seems like, oh, this was weeks ago, or oh, and those pouches and like stuff like that, just talks about something that's like, oh, I haven't seen that. That is the reason why. So I hope you enjoy the video. Goodbye. Well, until for like 2 seconds.
Hi everyone, it is weeks and weeks later. I just know it from my last clip. It's currently Saturday, November 8th, and today is the day. I am going to be pouring my candles, going to be melting the wax, putting in the fragrance and pouring my candles of at least one scent. The scent I've chosen to do first is Ambrosia Apple and Hyacinth. This was the scent that was like in the middle. It wasn't my favorite, it wasn't my least favorite. I got 3, which I know you remember because you're literally watching the video, but I'm like, do you remember? Because it's been so long for me.
Hello again, another little interjection. So I just wanted to say that the 3 scents that I got were all from Makesy, and the one that I liked the most was called Fleur de Provence and Vanilla Lumiere. Fancy. I like this one. It was floral, but it also had this powder scent underneath it, which I particularly don't like, but it was okay for what it was. Bluebells and Cucumber Leaf was horrible. I hated it. I literally left a 1-star review. I hated it so much. It just smelled like straight up peppercorn, and you know, it's sat now for 2 weeks, which is like a curing time for candles, and it doesn't smell much better. It just smells a little bit lighter. My boyfriend smelled it and he said that it smelled okay, and I was just baffled because I think it smells disgusting. And then Ambrosia and Apple and Hyacinth is like a sweet tart scent. It smells like just super sweet, like candy. It still smells like that, but the Fleur de Provence and Vanilla Lumiere is my favorite out of all these. Would I repurchase any of these from Makesy? No, I did not like any of them enough to repurchase them. They were just not my cup of tea. Not saying that Makesy, you know, makes bad products or anything. I mean, I'm still using their wood wicks and their little wick clips. I like Makesy for that, and I might look into buying vessels from them, even though I don't particularly like any of the ones that they have out now. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, if you like Makesy fragrances, you go girl. These just were not for me.
So this was the one that was like the middle scent for me. I didn't want to do one that was my least favorite first, in case, I don't know. I just didn't want to do my least favorite first. Okay, I think you can see me. I was gonna get done here. Sorry for being so scattered brained. I started to weigh out all of the wax, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to record this. So here I am. I just took, and what just happened was my scale just turned off, and I have this wax inside of here, so now I'm gonna have to dump this wax out, put it back into here, and then keep dipping stuff out. So maybe you should be able to see it a little bit better. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. What if something really bad goes wrong? I'm just kind of nervous about it. And I poured candles recently with my dad, but we used beeswax. And so I'm not going to be using this container until I can get another one to just specifically use for soy waxes. So I have my setup over here where I'm just going to put the candle underneath the spout and then turn on the spout and fill it up that way. Also, I'm going to put the fragrance inside of here because I can't use this. Because if I put the hot wax in here, then it will melt the beeswax and they'll mix together. And it's just going to be a whole coagulation of wrong. So that's what I'm currently dealing with right now. But I'm going to put this on here and tear it back out. It's at 2.9 ounces. And then I put in 8.5, so now I need 12.5 ounces left to go into my candles. So I'm putting, for 4 candles that are 8-ounce candle containers, I'm just seeing if you can see, yeah. So for my candle containers, they're 8 ounces, and I'm gonna put in I calculated out it's going to be 20.72 ounces of wax. I just put that up to 21 because we did have some loss, and that was because I did put it in this little cup. But I'm just going to account for loss anyways. I might not fill one up as much as I want to. I'm just going to account for like at least a little bit. It's like perfect. I needed 0.75 like I showed, and I got 0.8. It's literally so perfect. So now all the wax is melted inside of here. I have a little step stool to help me look inside, but I have all the wax melted, and I just put in the fragrance. And I'm gonna turn this down quite a bit and turn that off. So I turned it down so that the fragrance and the wax molecules can combine together, and then I'm gonna mix them with this stick right here, which is just like a shrimp skewer. So, and I know that wood can absorb like the oil and the scent, but this is all that I have, so this is what I'm using, because it's either that or this temperature gauge, and I feel like this would just like scratch the bottom and not, I don't know, I feel like this is just gonna scratch the bottom of my thing. So here we go. Okay, so now I just mixed in the fragrance for 2 minutes. That seemed to be the sweet spot that I found when researching online, was that you would pour it in, and this is for wax. This is for wax, obviously. This is for soy wax. So you set the temperature to 190. And what I found with this 2 auto is that it does it on the outside of it. I'll show you real quick while the wax is in there. So as you can see on the outside edge where the tube is to funnel it into here, that is the true temperature in there. But on the outside edges, it's around like 30 to 40 degrees cooler. And so in order to have the wax the entire, like the same temperature, it's just the middle would be a little bit hotter. I put it at the hottest temperature on here, which is 212, and that actually got the outside edges up to that 190. And then I put it right back down to on here where it says 185, and I added in the fragrance oil. Sorry, I had something caught in my throat. And then I added in the fragrance oil, and then I stirred for 2 minutes.
I got a little cold, had to put on my jacket. So since working with the 2 auto machine for a couple of more weeks since then, like more like a month now, I've had some issues with it that you'll see in a future video. I don't know when that's coming out, but you'll see that in a future video. But when I said that it's 30 to 40 degrees cooler on the outside, it's just because of the amount of wax that I was using. I was only pouring 4 candles at a time, and I poured 3 batches of 4, so a total of 12 candles. And because there was so little, it was actually like eating up some of my wax, because with that machine, it does not do well with like 1 candle's worth of wax. It will start to burn it because there is not enough like wax in there to like dissipate all of the heat. And so it ends up that it just especially on one side where it's very clear the heating mechanism is definitely on that side. The other side heats up, but this side, this one side, which you'll show in a future video, it literally has burnt wax for me before, and just pouring one candle is just like a no-go in that machine, to be honest. So if you're just pouring like really small batches, and I mean like the minimum that I would probably do in there is probably 4 candles at a time. Like, if that would be minimum. Anything below that, it's just gonna burn the hell out of your out of your wax, and you really have to clean that machine. I talk about this in a future video. I'm just saying this for context now because this was just me testing and using this for like the second time after my dad and I had used it to melt the beeswax. And so it was just it's with candle making, it's a lot of trial and error. I just wanted to clarify.
And I had the Makesy Ambrosia Apple and Hyacinth. It really smells very sweet, almost a little bit too sweet for me. I've decided since like a while back that I'm not going to be selling these ones because, and I'm going to give a disclaimer to the people who I give these to as gifts, but I used E6000 glue, which I saw on Reddit and a couple other forums that using E6000 glue for candles was fine, but then when you read the actual label on the E6000 glue, it says can be harmful if turned into a vapor, and that's what you're essentially doing is when you're burning candles, you're turning it into a vapor, and so I'm going to tell people not. Once you see this, like once you see the little tab inside of the jar, stop burning the candle, discard of it. It's not good anymore. If you want to, get this out, I honestly don't think that it would. If you see that, then I would at that moment then pour it out. But also it's glued down with E6000, so I don't even know if it'd be able to get out of this jar. That's the other thing. I want to be able to, if people want to, they can send me back the jars and then I can clean them out and reuse them to re-pour candles. I think that would be a really great way for to reduce, reuse, recycle. Also, if you don't want to do that, then you can use the jar. But when I put the E6000 glue in the bottom of it, you can't do that. So I have the spout on, like it's on right now, but nothing is coming out. So just gonna tip it. Okay, there's some air that just came out of the hole in the center. But it's liquid. So I don't know why this isn't pouring right now. I'm so happy that I was able to do this, but there's something definitely wrong with my little wax melter. This is not cute. This one's going to be for me. I'm going to keep one of each candle, so I just have to figure out, there was a lot gone from that, so I think I need to do 23 ounces of wax, at least, because I'd rather have a little bit more than less, obviously. So definitely need to keep that in mind, but I'm going to be giving the other 3 away to people, and I plan on keeping one of each anyway, so I guess this is the one I'm going to keep. I just don't want to remelt the wax and then mix it all in there and stuff and then just have the ratio of scent be wrong. I'd rather, this is what they all smell like, this one's just not as full as the other. Honestly, it kind of felt like a bust because I wasn't able to pour it from the spigot, and so I feel like I'm kind of sad. I don't know what happened, and my wax It definitely was poured hot because it's still not solidified at all. So I'll check in a couple hours from now, and that will probably be my last clip of the video, but I'll check in a couple hours from now, see if I figured out the spout issue and if the candles have started to solidify at all. I mean, they're going to have to at some point, but just see how long it's taken. So it's currently 3:54 right now. I poured the candles probably 5 minutes ago. We're just gonna say 5 minutes. I'm gonna set like a stopwatch on my phone starting now. It's still 3:54. I'm gonna set a stopwatch to see when I'll check it every like 10-15 minutes, and I'll come back and then record a clip when it has started to become, and which ones have started to become, you know, the white wax that we know and has solidified. So I'll show you it now before I do that. It's still all yellow and it's not solidified yet, not even the small one. So we'll come back and see when that happens. Currently been 34 seconds, probably 36 seconds. Anyways, I'll check back in a little bit later.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about the ending of this video, and we're just going to watch some wax melt. So what was wrong with my wax melter was when my dad and I made the beeswax candles, we didn't fully clean out the wax melter. We wiped it out and everything like how you saw I did in that clip before, but I didn't leave the spigot open so that the wax would drain out of it, and there was a lot of wax in it. There was a deleted clip that, you know, didn't make it onto my iPad because I record on a camera and then use a device to put the SD card into my iPad. And me and my iPad have been fighting for space on here. And so it was just one of the clips that didn't make it over. But I assembled the entire wax melter. And so you can take off the spigot. And that's what I did to clean it. And I cleaned out beeswax out of there. It was so hard. I cleaned it out of there for about an hour. And then I finally got all of it out. It was clogging up the entire spigot. And that is the reason why I could not pour anything out of there. And so what I do now compared to what I did then was I wipe it out with all of the paper towels and stuff. Yes. But then I run hot water through it and also put Dawn dish soap, and I clean out the actual tub, and then I open up the spigot and I run the Dawn dish soap and everything down through there as well, and then I let it all air dry, just because I've had problems with burning wax, which you'll see in a video that I keep talking about. And it was just an all around, I just didn't expect that to happen, and I thought that cleaning the wax melter literally meant wiping it out, but it meant something a little bit different. And then with the candles, they took about 2 hours to start to solidify. And normally you want within like 5 minutes of you pouring them to have a little bit of a ring around the bottom of it, because it starts from the bottom up, to have that little bit of a white ring around the bottom to know that it's starting to solidify. Otherwise, you'll get air bubbles, and some of mine, I even have liquid at the bottom of them, and like I said, you just don't want a little bit of wax in here, which I'll talk about the wax melter in a second, but because when you do put a little bit of wax in there, it does burn the wax, and then the first candle that you pour will have all of the burnt wax bits, and they go to the bottom, and it just creates this, like, you know, sometimes it's a little bit orangey because it's taking all of the fragrance oils that I didn't properly clean out of the machine into the very first one. They set all at the bottom, plus those little burnt flakes. It's just not a good look, and you just don't want that in your candle. As for the wax melter itself, I would suggest that if you are a beginner like I am, this is a great wax melter. It was around $80, and that's such a great price for how much wax this thing can hold. I could do probably upwards to 15 to 17 or 18 candles, like the 5 like 6-ounce candles that I'm doing. I currently only do about 12, and for this round of testing I did 4 candles for each scent, and that was like the minimum that I would do. Any lower than that, it just burns the heck out of the wax. And if you would want to do like really micro batches, like pouring one at a time, I would not suggest this wax melter for that, because it just burns. Like, I've put in for 1 candle at a time and smoke just starts rolling out of that wax melter. It just burns it so fast because it heats it up so fast, and it's just, yeah. For that, I would use the double boiler method, which is a lot safer and is not going to burn your wax if you have such a small amount. So But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I'm currently editing this on November 24th of 2024. It's currently Sunday, and I'm going to be putting it up today as well. But on December 7th, 2024, I'm going to be at Noblesville's like Market Street holiday pop-up event. It runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and I'm going to be a vendor there. So if you want to stop by in Noblesville, Indiana, it's going to be like in the downtown area. Of Noblesville, if you want to stop by and see me, you totally can. And any updates on my candles, any updates on my products, any updates on that at all, or any vendor markets, the best place to find all of that out is on my Instagram. I do try to post on there, at least on my stories, pretty regularly, even if not daily, just to keep everybody updated what I'm doing, you know, any events that I'm going to. So I would definitely follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up with all of that. And if you want to see what products, other than the candles that I've, you know, currently just constantly talking about, especially on my Instagram, if you want to see the other products that I'm going to be selling at this Noblesville street market, then you should totally check out my website at luckystarco.com. So it's luckystarco.com, and you'll see all of my products there. If you want to buy one before I do this market, that would make me so happy. If not, that's totally fine. So I just want to say thank you all so much for watching this video. Thank you just for being here and supporting me. And yeah, I just really, really appreciate it. And yeah, that is all for this video. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!